On a crisp morning in Atlanta, a black woman stood outside the Fulton County Courthouse, her briefcase in hand, when two police officers, mistaking her for a protester, unleashed a brutal beating that left onlookers stunned. Minutes later, battered but unbowed, she walked into the courtroom, took her seat at the bench, and revealed herself as Judge Amara Thompson, turning a moment of injustice into a powerful testament to resilience and authority. Amara Thompson, 46, was a respected figure in Georgia's judicial system, known for her sharp legal mind and unwavering commitment to fairness. A graduate of Howard University School of Law, she had risen through the ranks. From public defender to district attorney to superior court judge, earning a reputation for meticulous rulings and compassion for those in her courtroom, her presence was commanding, but outside the robe. She was just another face in the crowd until that morning in September 2025. The day began like any other. Amara arrived at the courthouse early, as was her habit, to review cases for a busy docket. She parked a block away, opting to walk to clear her mind. Dressed in a navy blazer, slacks, and flats, she carried a leather briefcase, her judicial robe folded inside. The street outside the courthouse was crowded, with protesters gathered to rally against a recent police misconduct case. Tensions were high, and a heavy police presence patrolled the area, their radios crackling with updates. As Amara approached the courthouse steps, she noticed the crowd growing restless. A group of protesters chanted, holding signs demanding justice. She kept her distance, weaving through the throng, focused on getting inside. Two officers, Patrolman Michael Evans and Daniel Pierce, were stationed near the entrance, their eyes scanning the crowd. They spotted Amara, who was adjusting her briefcase strap, and misread her purposeful stride as a sign of agitation. Without warning, Evans grabbed her arm, shouting, "Ma'am, step back!" Amara, startled, tried to explain, "I'm a judge. I work here." But her words were cut off as Pierce shoved her against a concrete barrier. The situation escalated in seconds. Evans, assuming she was resisting, twisted her arm, forcing her to the ground. Pierce delivered a sharp blow to her back with his baton, yelling, "Stop moving!" Onlookers gasped, some pulling out phones to record, others shouting for the officers to stop. Amara, her face pressed to the pavement, felt a surge of pain, but stayed calm, knowing any resistance could worsen the situation. "I'm Judge Amara Thompson," she said clearly, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Check my ID, it's in my bag." The officers hesitated, but their adrenaline was high, and they didn't listen. A third officer, Sergeant Lisa Hayes, arrived, drawn by the commotion, and ordered them to stand down. "What's going on here?" she demanded. Evans, still gripping Amara's arm, snapped, "She's causing a disturbance." Hayes, noticing the briefcase and Amara's composed demeanor, knelt beside her. "Ma'am, are you okay? Who are you?" Amara, wincing but resolute, repeated, "I'm Judge Amara Thompson. Superior Court. My ID is in my briefcase." Hayes opened the bag. Finding the judicial robe and ID, her face paled as she realized the mistake. "Let her go now," she barked at Evans and Pierce, who stepped back, their expressions shifting from aggression to shock. Amara stood slowly, her blazer torn, a bruise forming on her cheek. The crowd, now silent, watched as she brushed off her clothes, picked up her briefcase, and walked toward the courthouse entrance. Blood trickled from a cut on her lip, but her posture remained erect, her eyes fixed forward. Protesters and bystanders whispered, some recognizing her name from local news. A young woman, filming the incident, posted the video online with the caption, "Police just attacked a judge outside her own courthouse." Inside, Amara entered her chambers, ignoring the concerned looks from her clerk. David, who noticed her disheveled state. "Judge Thompson, are you okay?" he asked. She nodded, her voice firm. "I'm fine, David. Let's get to work." She changed into her robe, cleaned her face, and took a moment to steady herself. The pain was sharp, but she refused to let it derail her. She had a courtroom to run, cases to hear, and justice to administer. The incident outside would not define her day or her career. At 9 a.m., Mara took her seat at the bench, her presence commanding despite the visible bruise. The courtroom, packed with attorneys, defendants, and spectators, fell silent as she entered. Whispers spread. Some had seen the video, now going viral, or heard about the altercation. The bailiff called the court to order, and Amara began the docket, her voice clear and authoritative. She heard cases methodically: a domestic dispute, a burglary plea, a custody hearing. Her rulings were precise, her questions incisive. As if the morning's chaos hadn't happened. During a recess, David approached her. "Judge, the media's outside. They want a statement about what happened." Amara shook her head. "Not now. I'm here to do my job," but the story was already spreading. By noon, local news outlets were reporting on the incident, identifying Amara as the judge attacked by police. The video, now viewed thousands of times, sparked outrage. The activists calling for accountability and the officer's suspension. Amara's background added weight to the story. Born in Atlanta's West End, she grew up in a working-class family, her mother a nurse, her father a bus driver. She excelled in school, earning a scholarship to Howard, where she found her calling in law. As a public defender, she fought for the marginalized, often clashing with police over questionable arrests. Her appointment to the bench in 2018 was a milestone, making her one of the youngest black women judges in Georgia. Colleagues admired her for her fairness, defendants respected her empathy, and attorneys feared her sharp intellect. The officers, Evans and Pierce, were placed on administrative leave by the afternoon. Pending an investigation, Sergeant Hayes, who had intervened, filed a report detailing their excessive force. The Atlanta Police Department issued a statement promising a thorough review but avoiding specifics. Amara, meanwhile, declined interviews, focusing on her docket. She knew the incident would fuel debates about race, policing, and systemic bias, but she refused to let it consume her. By evening, the story had gone national. CNN and MSNBC ran segments showing the grainy video of Amara's beating alongside her poised courtroom demeanor. Commentators praised her resilience, noting how she'd turned a moment of humiliation into one of strength. Social media erupted with hashtags like #JudgeThompson and #Justice for Amara, alongside demands for police reform. A few voices predictably questioned her actions, suggesting she'd provoked the officers. But the video told a clear story. She'd done nothing wrong. Amara's family urged her to take time off, but she returned to court the next day, her bruise now a faint purple. She addressed the incident only once, during a community forum a week later, hosted by a local civil rights group. "I'm not here to talk about me," she said, her voice steady. "I'm here to talk about the people who don't have a robe to put on, who don't get to walk into a courtroom and be heard. What happened to me happens to too many, too often." The room erupted in applause. Even her critics couldn't deny her grace. The investigation concluded a month later. Evans and Pierce were fired, their actions deemed unjustifiable. Both issued public apologies, claiming they hadn't known Amara's identity, but the excuse rang hollow. Sergeant Hayes was commended for her quick intervention, and the department implemented new training on de-escalation and bias. Amara, meanwhile, continued her work, her reputation only strengthened. She mentored young lawyers, particularly women of color, encouraging them to persevere despite obstacles. The incident became a touchstone in Atlanta, a city with a complex history of race and justice. Amara's name was invoked in city council meetings, in classrooms, and at protests, a symbol of dignity under pressure. She never sought the spotlight, but it found her, illuminating a woman who'd spent her life fighting for fairness, one case at a time. And each morning, as she walked into the courthouse, past the steps where she'd been wronged, she carried the weight of that day and the strength to rise above it.